Perfect. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Team Pandamonium Pandacast, Episode 2, Return of the Pandas. I'm just going to go right ahead and hand it off to the host for tonight for the first part, and that is going to be Alex Pick.
Yeah. So today we'll be recapping our performance at the May event. We brought a total of 9 robots, exactly 3 in each weight class. The 30s we had Same Force, Overlord, and Light Force, Synthesis 30 and Overlord. All 3 of those 30s made it to prime time. Oh, I've got a cat. In the 12 pounds, we bought Battle Tots, Sievert, and Torrent. They all qualified this event. And in the threes, we brought Basics, Vanguard, and Vapor Trail. And Vapor Trail got second place in the Beatles. So I have a few questions for our drivers. Gojo wants to join. He's a Gojo. Starting with Lyndon. Vanguard had a very good outing for being a first build. But like a lot of the time, there are issues the first time out with a bot.
In the chassis and the height of the blade. Basically, it's too close to the ground where the debris and general mess of the arena gets in the way of the blade spin up. And so that was our biggest issue with it. Is just motor power was lacking for a blade a weapon with this low of a blade. In addition to that, the entire event I was fighting stall protection on the weapon ESC, where it just wouldn't spin up if I left the throttle high. So if you ever look at the fight footage, it winds up where the weapon is down for extended periods of time, like a couple seconds here or there, and it's just me, waiting for the stall protection to turn off so I can throw the weapon throttle to 100 again.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Lyndon. Next up, we're going to talk about basics. Donald, on the first fight of the day, your drum came out of the robot, and you managed to pull that into a judge's decision win. What was going through your head the second half of that fight?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's not the first time that's happened, that's for sure. But basics, I think other than being a lot more difficult to drive, not having the weapon gyro to keep it from like driving forward and backwards a lot easier. The drum is nice in that it acts as like the weapon when it is working and attached, but other than that, it's just a blade of armor when it's not working. So regardless of whatever is happening, you just keep the weapon pointed and you just keep going. It's a battering ram at that point. And yeah, I mean, what just gotta keep, making the opponent do what they want to do, and if they can't, then you can try and steal some points from the judges that way. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that it happens more often than I like it to, but I think I've gotten kind of used to it now, actually. So, like I think at the MIT event last December, it was like a lot of good experience. Just keeping the weapon pointed, regardless of if it's working or not, and hoping for the best that way. Yeah.
Okay. This question could be for Kevin or Corey. but we have Kevin here. Kevin, how did it feel to be welcomed to featherweight in such dramatic fashion?
It was fun. It sucked. It was not long enough. That fight really hurt. It went exactly as I expected. I expected to get tossed and destroyed and absolutely decimated, and that's what happened. I wish I could have driven just a little bit longer. That was my third time driving the robot in the ring. Second time driving the robot in the ring ever. But it was awesome, and I can't wait to go back and do it again.
All right. Yeah. And next up, we have a question for Jillian. There was a really close match with the eventual 30-pound champion Waddles. That fight was pretty crazy, and a lot of stuff happened. Is there anything you can talk us through some of the things that were going on in that fight, like with the robot?
Going into the fight, this was only my third time driving Overlord. Very wide bots, kind of cumbersome to deal with. And we were realizing that the fork blocks, the mounting was starting to break and everything was bent downwards a lot further, which caused it to kind of do the thing a little too much, which really wasn't ideal. So I tried to limp it as long as I could to manage to go all the way for a full 3 minutes, fully functional, besides the weapon hitting the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really interesting, like watching like the chassis get like slightly more bent, and then the weapon try to spin up, and then you'd wheelie, and the weapon would spin up fine.
Yeah, at one point I tried to go backwards into Waddles, hoping that I could get some sort of hit since it liked to wheelie. Didn't fully work though.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. The rest of the robots that we're going to talk about qualified at this event, which is, I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. We brought four more robots than the ones that were already qualified, Synthesis 30 and Basics. So over half of the robots that hadn't qualified yet at this event qualified at this event that we brought. Kevin, you qualified with Torrent. I think the Torrent that came to this event was like a culmination of a lot of the work that you've put into Downpour. And you had your driving down. What changes went into this robot and your mindset to get you to prime time?
So one of the big things I did is the event before this, I switched back to the original UHMW side armor that we had used on the robot a while ago. And it definitely helped keep things out of the wheels. I say this, but I lost to something, but that's different. So that armor package definitely helped a ton. The weapon motor upgrade we tested last event definitely worked out. The biggest problem we had was we absolutely decimate batteries in these robots. And so the biggest thing to keep the robot going this event, and that got me as far, is one, I had my team sitting in windows going like this, you know, when I was sending the robot too hard. But also, I turned on I had limited throttle, I turned on low voltage cutoffs and things like that, just so I can keep the battery alive long enough to just go 3 minutes. And in the end, it all worked out. I had lost to my own mistake of forgetting to put screws in the front armor, and that's kind of what took me out in the last fight.
There you go. We had Battle Tots with some completely new drivers this event.
Really impressive.
And they did really well. They made it the furthest of any of our 12s. They made it all the way to semifinals. And at least the fights I watched, they didn't hit each other. Ariel
Really
with the
impressive.
keys to not hitting each other.
So Kevin is currently putting up clips of us hitting each other.
For some context for the viewers, Tim and I were the drivers for this, and Tim had not touched Froggy until Friday of that event, so he didn't have a lot of experience on it yet, and I barely touched it before that event to do Same Force, so we were both very new to it. The secret weapon for not hitting each other, I think, was having Kevin there, one of the original members of Battletoads, screaming in both of our ears, telling us exactly what to do and not to do. So some people know this, some people don't. Kevin is my brain when I'm doing a fight. I completely shut my brain off, and input is just like his voice. And that worked for this event. And Tim's not here because he's going to be late, but I think he took a lot of that as well and listened to Kevin. Tim's also a great driver for Froggy.
Yeah.
And didn't flip it on its head instantly. Matt. You want to show that clip of us hitting each other again?
Hold on. Let's do it just one more time.
Really impressive. This is interesting.
Yeah, so Tim hit me in our first fight with Capsize, and I got him back in. That's a lot of CPU. But we didn't really hurt each other. It was just little love taps.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
You guys together definitely drove better than Kevin and I did together, mainly because Kevin and I are just screaming at each other, saying, no, you don't be an idiot. No, you be the idiot. And that's constantly our dynamic. And us not doing that probably is why you guys did better. But Tim just outdrove on the frog, and I was ready to heckle him saying, bring out the drum set if he flipped on his head constantly. And he didn't do that, so I couldn't do that, which was unfortunate.
We did spend a lot of time before sort of strategizing our hits and what we were going to do. Like that's a lot of TPU. Our strategy was both of us can't be in front of the robot at the same time. One person has to be behind it, so we both don't get corralled. So it was a lot of like, oh no, he's caught, I got to run away. Or, oh no, I'm caught, and then he would run away. So we tried to coordinate.
Yeah. I was really impressed with Tim not flipping Froggy over, having fought with Froggy a few times, and like, I don't know.
I think all of us were.
I mean, he did like the first 3 seconds in the first fight. He was
did.
like, oh, there goes the head.
But like, Matt has been driving Froggy for over a year now, and like, Matt still flips Froggy fairly frequently.
It's just a Matt hate stream.
No.
Well, it's because Matt drives control bots that can actually drive backwards. Nerds don't do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know what Gyro does. The other thing to note is Tim. If Tim were here, he would be complaining more about me because he hates that robot, like I do.
Oh yeah.
Mainly because I use too many fasteners, supposedly. But
you do.
That's it's not my problem. It's his problem.
Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. Phase colors on weapon don't match. Wire routing is scary. Easy to squish wire guards and lock drive. Slotted weapon motor. That's like a third of it.
Yeah. So
And that was
Alex
like
is.
that was like
What
before
Alex
the
is
first
reading
fight.
is Tim's complaints.
Before the
He
first
had,
fight.
Yeah.
This man had to fix from the first fight the robot and had the time to type a paragraph of complaints.
I mean, that was also my fault. I said you have to document everything you want to change, and I did the same thing for Same Force.
To be fair to Matt, we have all seen the inside of Pretty Fly. Like, I don't know what leg Tim is standing on there. It's a complicated robot. To give Matt something to talk about, Sievert did incredibly well at this event, with an awesome tap out knockout win against Carmen. What were you thinking, Matt, as you loaded in, and what went into making that like awesome one hit work?
So loading into the box, I kind of thought, oh, I guess I'm gonna die again like I did at Moto. And before the fight, I told Donald, hey, just stand by the tap out button. Please hit the tap out button. My weapon goes down. I don't want to die more for no reason.
And so I kind of went in the mentality, I'm going to lose. But I'm like, I want to hit him. Because at Moto, I misdrove severely, and I don't think I ever really even hit Carmen. So Donald actually gave me a great piece of advice that kind of just didn't click in my head at Moto at any point. At this event, Donald said, you shouldn't try to hit Carmen for the first 15 to 20 seconds of the fight. Just drive. And I, when he said that, interpreted in my head, I need to look for a good opportunity instead of just trying to contact, which in the past I've just kind of viewed it as if my blade hits robot, something will happen. And by doing that, I probably hit his wedge in a better way than I would have if I just tried to hit him in the first 2 seconds of the fight, because I'm like, I need to hit him. And because of that, after talking with a few people who are more familiar with what the failure mode might have been, effectively, I hit his wedge, and then by hitting his wedge, I hit it into his weapon. So his weapon just destroyed his wedge. But people didn't give me enough credit, to be fair, because I changed the weapon system going into this event to have more motor, to try to not smoke motors, as well as to change the torque transfer with my belt setup. I actually hit the corner of his wedge, and my weapon actually kept going and hit the other side of the wedge on the other upright. So you could see the cleave where it went through both, where the wedge must have slowed down his weapon, and then I cut through where the weapon wasn't hitting. And then I hit him, and I must have damaged his frame, and he must have damaged himself to the point where his J belt just came off, and Michael ended up tapping. So it was a very lucky hit, but I'd like to say it was 5% skill, because I just took my time and got a better probability of hitting him instead of just getting stuck against the wall and getting destroyed like I did at Moto. But generally, I was very happy with how the robot did, and it overperformed what I kind of thought it was going to overall at the event.
Okay. So moving on to Johnny, the star of our show today. I have some fun facts about what happened with Johnny. Johnny went 6-1 on the day, and 6 of his fights were judges' decisions. There was a fight in which Vapor Trail broke its opponent's weapon completely in half. That would be bad luck. During Johnny's fight against Tailspin, Tailspin had used its unstick and was stuck again, and Johnny chose to free his opponent and continue the fight. And there were, like, this is the pattern throughout the day that Johnny just, like, didn't want to take KOs by having his opponents stuck, which I think is awesome. I mean, the beetle weights are the toughest weight class at NHRL. And you took Vapor Trail all the way to the finals in, like, very sportsmanlike, incredible fashion, taking down last year's Golden Brett winner, Repeater, in the process. We all of us on the team have seen that you've been working really hard on upgrading Vapor Trail. Can you give us a summary of those changes?
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, first of all, like, I feel like we're all here to fight robots anyway, so, and especially in that bad luck fight, for example, where I actually broke their blade in half. It's just a win-win for both of us. If I, spin slower, we both get driving practice in. Stick time, I feel like, is so important at events. Like, I would just do anything to have, like, more stick time in the bots. And, I don't want to, like, to cause unnecessary damage to the robot at that point anyway. So yeah, it's just more fun if we both get to fight more. But regarding the changes for Vapor Trail, I have kind of what's left of it here. I I cut the wheel guards off for Jelly Baby, but it didn't really take much damage during the event. Repeater messed it up a bit, but it was still fully functional. The biggest change for Vapor Trail was actually after I saw that Corey accidentally had Synthesis's weapon like way too sunk into the bot and also a bit too high up. It got me thinking about Vapor Trail's weapon geometry. And the biggest change I made, although it looks pretty similar to the previous Vapor Trail in March, was I actually overhauled the entire weapon system. So I moved it up 5 millimeters and forward 5 millimeters. And I also switched away from that, like, I had an Onyx hub that kind of clasped together with threaded inserts and squeezed it all together. But the bearings kept melting through the Onyx because it's a print, stuff gets hot when it's spinning that fast. And I was sick of replacing pulleys every fight. So I finally bit the bullet and went aluminum pulleys with like an Onyx ring and keying feature with just 8 M3s that literally just like thread into the other pulley. And I stopped melting pulleys, and the weapon reach and diameter increase was so noticeable in every fight. I went into the event wanting one hit, really, that entire event. That's all I wanted. I wanted one really good hit. And then it kept like that was kind of my attitude. Like every fight, I was kind of like, if I could get one hit this fight, that would be really good. So I got a lot of hits in, which was great. And yeah, I guess the changes worked. I kind of made it like less dumb overall. It's a bit sad that Vapor Trail got to finals before Spartan after trying for like years with Spartan. It's very ironic, but yeah.
And then we mentioned it earlier, you had an awesome win over Repeater. What would you say were the keys to taking down the champion?
Yeah, I mean, when I heard beating Power of Friendship was crazy before that fight as well, because I sawed through one of them, and if I didn't do that, I barely squeaked that one out. So then going into the Repeater fight, it's all like whatever at that point, like it's Repeater. Okay, I'm not gonna win. But I did go in with a strategy, and it it kind of like immediately changed after the first exchange. But what my goal was I'm going to keep my back against the wall and at all times so they can't flank me. And I did that for the first like 10-15 seconds. I think it was the red Repeater, Peter's one, go towards the side, and I shot at it and got a big hit. And then Ryan with the blue Repeater just came up right behind me and flipped me. So I was like, well, there's no feasible way I'm going to keep my back to the wall this entire fight. So at that point, I don't really remember that fight, I want to be honest, which means I must have been okay. Because I kind of just went into like Zen mode. I just like zoned out. And I almost like, when you can look at something, but you can also like space your eyes out so you're not exactly focused on one thing. I felt like that's how I was driving that fight. I was kind of trying to keep a more general awareness of where Vapor Trail is instead of where Repeater is. And I feel like I was watching Vapor Trail more than Repeater that fight. So anytime one of them came into my periphery, I would kind of just whip around to face them. And you could see if you watch that fight, a lot of the times I would want to go in for a hit, but the other one would be lining up behind me. So I'd kind of have to like, lose the chance for a hit. And that's what makes Repeater so good. I also, I crippled Peter really early on. I jammed one of his TPU forks underneath him. So, there was a big luck element there. I mean, there has to be a big luck element if I beat Repeater, to be honest. But yeah.
All right. That is our May recap. I'll throw it back to Kevin. Thank you to everyone who answered questions.
Thanks for asking them. Okay, so this is where things are going to get a little crazy. We've mentioned, I think in the last podcast, So upcoming, the end of this month, there's an event called the Memorial Day Mayhem at RCE. It's hosted by the Boxels, and we as a team decided we want to do something different, and so we are going to entirely shake up our roster. 8 of us entered robots into this event, and none of us are driving the robot we entered. And to make things even more fun, we're leaving it up to chance and thievery. So, with that, I would like to introduce the Wheel of Pandamonium. What you see here on the screen is exactly what it is. We have a little chart to keep track of who's doing what and what's going on, and I'll go over the rules real quick. The Wheel of Pandemonium is sort of like a white elephant. We decided the order of who gets to pick when before the stream. Each player gets 1 chance to steal. Okay? So you either get to spin or steal on your turn. If a bot is stolen from you, you can't steal it back. So you get your dream bot and it gets taken from you, you don't get it again. But if you're stolen from, you get to go spin the wheel again or steal from somebody else. After that's done, it goes and continues in order. You cannot end up with your own robot. If you do, you have to spin again. Or you have to steal. So it's all just a big mess. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to cause some pandemonium. So I'm going to hand it over to Michael. He's going to introduce everybody and their
Bot
bots.
intros. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Wheel of Pandemonium for the RCE event. First up, spinning will be Kevin. His offer to the wheel was ominous. Now, Kevin, being the first person, all you can do is spin. You will get your chance to steal later.
We're doing our intros first, guy, remember? We're doing bot.
We got to roll it back a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to
Kevin
roll
was
it back.
supposed to do bot intros. We're just gonna practice
sorry.
Kevin doing bot intros, guys.
Fine, I'll do bot intros. So
Yeah, you'll do bot intro. Sorry about that. I thought we already.
all right, so we're gonna run down the list.
It's not your fault.
So that's my fault, guys. The first spot,
crazy.
the first spot up for grabs is Ominius. This is my OmniVert. It's OmniDrive, hub motor, single disc vert, based after the BattleBot Ominous. This spot is really cool. It just doesn't function like it's supposed to. So what I love about it, it's awesome shape. I'm really proud of the way aesthetically this bot turned out, being my first Omni, my first hub motor. Like, it looks really cool. It is a nightmare inside. It runs a split pack. It doesn't have enough weight over the rear wheels, so it's fun to drive until it isn't. So good luck whoever gets that. The next offering we have is Yippee from Lyndon. So Lyndon, why don't you tell us about Yippee?
Yeah, so Yippee is a bot that we did not design originally. We came into Yippee. We turned it from a wheeled bot into a shuffler because it was overweight initially, and then we decided shufflers were more fun. So Yippee is slow, but hits like a truck. And it's just a lot of fun. It's the kind of bot that when you're driving it, just makes you go, yippee.
All right, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so next on the list we have Matt, and he is bringing our offering, I should say, for this one, Half-Life. So Matt, why don't you tell us a little about Half-Life?
So Half-Life is a 4-wheel drive control bot that can become a lifter or a grabber. Half-Life does best when it controls a fight and typically goes to the judges and wins a fight that way. It is very durable to the point where I haven't been KO'd in 2 years across every event I've been to. The downside of this robot is it's very driver skill dependent. If you're bad, you're going to have a bad time.
Interesting. So next we have Alex with his robot Cole. Alex, why don't you tell us a little bit about Cole?
So I'm bringing Cole. It's my hammer saw. It's getting a completely new build for this event. I'm debuting Cole V3 at this event, so I've tried to work out as many of the issues with the prior versions of Cole, but there might be some gremlins with this version. The biggest changes for the new version are that we're going away from the single supported arm with the cantilevered hub motor, or just motor with a big piece of PLA stuck on it, and we're going to a Just Cuz hub. So hopefully the weapon system, both in the arm motion and in the spinner, are more reliable than they've been in the past. It's also gotten a lot wider, so hopefully it's a better control bot that's easier to get pins with.
Awesome. Next on the list would be Tim with Chubby Unicorn, but he's running late. So how about we put it up on the screen and all of us bash it for a second? Yeah. No.
I think we all know some of the things Tim would say about it, though. Go ahead, put it up on the screen.
All right, let's put it up on the screen.
All right, so Tim designed this robot to see if he could be competitive with a four-wheel drive vert, the absolute meta, and turns out he is, because he got a dumpster with it. All right, who else?
All
Oh,
right.
wait, it's really inexpensive because it's mostly UHMW.
And the whole electronics package is like 1 inch by 1 inch by ½ inch. It's very, very tight in there.
Oh yeah, the electronics are going to be hard for
Where's
anyone
Jaren?
who gets this box.
Yeah, where's
Jaren,
Jaren?
Jaren, it has connectors.
It has connectors, Jaren.
And Jaren, Tim wants you to know your robot has connectors.
All right, so the next one's going to be fun. Ellie, you're going to talk a little bit about Zane.
Okay, I came prepped for this. So Zane has been competing since 2022. It's a torque reaction walker, so it's sort of a droopy style. I actually do love a lot of things about Zane. It's very fun to drive, and I think because it looks like droopy, people get really scared of it when you come up to the box with it, because they're not familiar with Zane. But Zane's sort of main problem is, Kevin, you were talking earlier about running up against the limitation of battery life. Zane's problem is not battery life, it is gear life. Zane has 90 seconds of fight time in it until its gears melt. In previous versions, hopefully we've fixed that. But if you do not get a KO in 90 seconds, it will stop functioning. But it's super easy to work on. So there is, there are ups and downs. I do love him. He's our little boy. But yeah.
But yeah.
Also, that's gonna be Kevin's responsibility if those gears melt, because he's has to make
listen,
them.
I didn't pick the material.
Yes.
I'm just making the gears. Okay. Next, Donald, we have basics. You want to tell us about basics?
Yeah, basics. Two-wheel drive drum spinner. As the name suggests, it's very basic. It was designed after a FingerTech beater bar, but, given a little, finer touches, I would say. So it should be easy to drive. It's pretty easy to run. I think it's fairly reliable if the weapon doesn't fly out. And it's ready to go. It was all fixed up at the May event. Did a grudge, a friendly grudge against someone looking for a fight. So it's tested. It's all set. And I hope it's a blast for whoever gets to run it.
Awesome. And then last but certainly not least, Golden Dumpsting Beetlejuice.
Asterisk.
Asterisk, sorry.
All right, so Beetlejuice is obviously two-wheel drive horizontal. It's the only horizontal other than Zane, if you want to count that as a horizontal.
I mean, that's a diagonal, so it's fine.
Yeah, diagonal. All right, so I made a pros and cons list for this robot for whoever got it, because I want to sell it to you. So it won an asterisk dumpster. It does have a positive KD right now. It's pretty easy to work on. It's just a modified vector kit, guys. Like, nothing crazy. I'm going to have 2 full copies ready for you. It doesn't need a ton of tools, or it doesn't have a ton of hardware types. And I'm going to hand you a really organized hardware kit. Most things are plug and play except for the weapon motor, sorry. The cons of this are that the top and bottom plate are carbon fiber, so that's kind of annoying. So you get splinters. You have to take the top plate off to do any meaningful repairs. So you're basically undoing the weapon stack every time you want to do anything. The weapon hub and weapon pulley are still a work in progress, but I'll make enough copies for you. The biggest thing I think is that it's pretty chaotic. When you're driving it, it throws itself and sometimes just gets stuck on the wall, which may be a real hindrance at this event. I don't know what the unstick situation is going to be, but if you don't get an unstick, you could just knock yourself out.
I'm confused on why you feel like you need to sell us Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's sort of like name your price.
Name your price.
Okay.
All right. So a couple things I do want to add. Since we cannot get our own bots, neither Alex nor Ellie can get Zane nor Cole, just because they've both driven both of those robots. And to be fair, neither I cannot get Beetlejuice or Ominius, because I've driven Beetlejuice in the past. Because I screwed this order up earlier, I am going to run down the rules just real quick one more time, because we jabbered a little bit, and I want to make sure everybody has an easy time following along. So the first person to pick, which is me, I have to spin the wheel. There's nobody to steal from. Each driver after that will choose to spin or steal. Players are limited to one steal. If a bot is stolen from you, you cannot steal it back. If you are stolen from, you get to go next. You can choose to spin or steal. Once someone's stolen from chooses to spin, the RNG order continues. If you steal, it causes a chain reaction. Could be fun. And you cannot end up with your own robot. If you spin your own bot, you gotta respin or you gotta steal. So, for real this time, let's go over to Michael.
Hey.
All right, it's go time, right? All right, welcome everyone to the Wheel of Pandamonium for the RCE competition. Our first spinner is going to be Kevin. Kevin, could you please spin that wheel?
Oh boy. Okay, so I absolutely can, and here we go.
Boom, boom,
Well,
boom,
that
boom,
definitely
boom,
broke.
Zane.
Zane.
All right.
Oh,
All right.
Kevin, you
All
have
right.
Zane.
You know what? Okay, I'm all right with this.
Very nice, very nice. Now, Lyndon, you are the next one to
Let's
spin.
go.
Now,
Let's
you
spin
can
the wheel.
spin or steal.
Let's spin that wheel.
All right, I
All
like
right,
it. We're
spin
gonna
that wheel,
spin
Lyndon.
that wheel.
Spin. We needed a longer spin, Kevin. The
It
spin
wasn't
is too
me.
short.
Oh, so
You gotta
Hey,
spin again.
unfortunately,
Oh,
you did
no.
not get
so we're gonna
Yippee.
spin
Please spin
again.
that wheel one more time.
All right.
Spin that again.
This game is cursed. All right. hold on.
You're cursed.
Listen, guys.
You can't escape.
I get these really fun. It's because I want to drive.
You can't have you. Come on, man. Get with the program.
There you go.
Alright.
Half-Life.
Oh boy.
Oh, that is a
Lyndon,
program.
You are going to be driving Half-Life. Unless
Maybe
it gets
that's exciting.
stolen.
All right.
All right, Matt. You are up next. Would you like to steal or would you like to spin?
First, I'd like to thank you for having me on the show, Mike. It's been an honor and a pleasure. I've dreamed about this for years. I want to spin that wheel.
Yes,
No
go
whammy,
ahead.
no whammy, no
Spin that
whammy.
wheel.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
Oh,
Oh,
you have the
Oh,
chubbiest wheel.
oh boy. Now we get to watch
Tim, I am
Matt
so
just
ready
flame
to
Tim.
complain about all of your wiring.
Oh, here we
my
go.
God. All right.
That's gonna blow up Discord. So, Alex, you are the next contestant on the Wheel of Pandemonium. Are you going to steal or are you going to spin?
Let's mix things up. I
Oh,
want chubby unicorn.
I
chubby
knew it. I
unicorn.
knew it.
How dare you?
That was Alex's first pick.
It was. We were. Well,
Oh.
no, it was his second.
Oh,
He doesn't.
Shh, don't tell us your
We
list.
talked strategy earlier. Don't tell them.
So noted. The thief has come, and Alex has swiped the chubby unicorn. Matt, you are now without a robot. It is your turn to spin. Or
That was
you
really
have not
tough.
used your steal.
You know, Alex, that was messed up, man. Come on. I really wanted Chubby. I'll spin though.
Spin it is.
Spin that wheel, Matt.
I'm gonna take the spin.
Ooh.
Spin,
Yeah.
spin.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is about right. This is about right. This feels about right now.
Very good, Matt. Enjoy your Omni Drive Wheel of Destruction. So, next up, dun, 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 Matt, Alex, wait a minute.
Tim is not
Tim.
here.
Tim
Yes.
is next.
It's a curveball.
So that's
though.
Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah, it threw me off.
Oh yeah,
for a minute.
Johnny got the list. Okay. All right.
Johnny, did he send you a list?
I am in cahoots with Tim. I have
Okay, good.
specific instructions. You could consider me a spy. So
The imposter.
yes. Tim's specific instructions might throw a bit of a curveball into the show.
Oh.
Well,
Yes.
before you reveal them, are you going to steal?
Well, I could say it. Tim also has said his ETA is 1 minute, but we're gonna do this
You wanna
now.
stall?
You wanna stall?
We can vamp.
Okay, guys, let's stall. I
Are
have
we
a question here.
stalling? All right,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
stall for a
They
second.
call
Okay.
Dominius what do we call it? An Omni drive bot.
Mhm.
But isn't it technically a Kiwi drive bot?
Exposed.
Wait.
Actually,
It is a Kiwi Drive bot, which achieves holonomic motion, I think is the right word.
Nerd.
Yeah.
nerd.
All right, Kiwi Drive. Okay. Listen,
It
it's
sounds like there's more than
omnidirectional.
one imposter on this stream.
It is an omnidirectional
Another thing
drive
to,
robot.
to stall with is that we didn't talk about the variety in all the bots we're bringing, which I think is really important. So we have what? Do we want to go down the list? Go back to the wheel for a second,
Well,
or
I
the
got-
spreadsheet.
all right, so I got them all here. You want me to run them down? So we
Yeah.
have Ominius, which is a Kiwi Drive vert. Okay. We have Yippee, which is a shuffler drum. Half-Life, which is a four-wheel drive lifter control bot. Cole, which is a four-wheel drive hammer saw. Chubby Unicorn, four-wheel drive vert, Drisk. Zane, which is a torque reaction walker, not a gyro walker, right? I got it.
Not a gyro walker.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been yelled at before.
Basics, which is
Saying
a
that.
two-wheel drive drum, and Beetlejuice, which is a two-wheel drive horizontal, meaning no two robots have the same drive and weapon system.
Yeah, the closest
Wow.
we have is Yippee and Basics because they're both drums.
I would have said
Yeah.
the closest are Beetlejuice.
They could
and
not be
Basics.
more different bots.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the best
Yeah.
part.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get ready to change your drive style?
I'm so excited for this. Johnny, it's been 1 minute.
I have specific instructions from Tim. I'm gonna go through with them.
Okay.
okay, let's do this.
Okay.
All right. Throw a wrench into
All
this
right,
thing.
Imposter Tim. Are
That's
you
just
going
gonna be
to
a steal.
steal or are you going to spin that wheel?
Steal. Tim has chosen to steal.
Steal, boom, boom, boom.
Oh.
Who are you stealing from?
Tim will be stealing Half-Life.
What?
Oh,
Wow.
No way.
What?
Yes.
what?
Wow.
Crazy.
This is the twist
Whoa.
of the century.
Wow.
I know.
I was not
That's
expecting
explosion.
that.
crazy.
Holy shit.
I was
I was already
I didn't
resigned to my
expect
day.
that
Damn.
at all.
Tim's
He
just down
really
for-
just
yo,
wants to
Tim's down
roast
for
me
blood.
the entire event.
Yeah, Tim's out for
Listen.
blood. He just
He
wants
just
to
really
diss
likes
King
your
Man
bots,
robots.
Matt.
Tim very verbally at the last event disclosed that he does not love control bots. So I am shocked. Shocked.
It's
by
something he's
this.
never driven.
This is quite surprising.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll
I
just
can't make.
maybe he
I
picked
can't
it.
make any further comments by law.
No further comments. It's fine.
The lawyer has
Yeah.
done his job.
Yep.
Maybe it's a secret ploy so that he can't get Half-Life again when somebody else steals it.
Yeah.
I can't comment on
But
that.
he's
Playing
banking on
like
somebody
5G
stealing Half-Life.
Right.
I don't. Is anybody gonna steal Half-Life?
I don't. I don't
guess we'll
think
find
that's a good
out.
plan, guys.
I guess
If
we're
I
gonna
have
find out.
to have one of Matt's robots again, I'm gonna do something drastic. It can't be me. It simply shan't be me.
Ouch.
I give you
Like,
one of my children, and this is how you repay the debt with this comment in front of our lovely
You said
audience.
he was your
Come
All
on.
right,
boy.
all right. Let's get this
All right.
back on track now. Lyndon has
All
been
right, so
stolen from.
Matt, you've
Oh,
been
so
stolen
I-
from not one but twice. So maybe this third
No,
bot will
that's
be.
Lyndon.
Lyndon.
Lyndon has been stolen
Lyndon.
from.
Lyndon's.
I need to keep a better scorecard. Oh well.
You're good.
Ooh.
Good. So, anyways, spin the wheel of Pandamonium or steal.
I think I'm going to spin that wheel again.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wheel.
Oh.
All right.
Yippee,
Spin
here we
it.
come.
The basics.
Oh, basics is on the table.
Basics
is on the table.
So late in the game, too. So late in the game.
Ooh.
Let's
And who
go.
has their steals left to get their hands on basics?
It's me.
So,
Yeah.
the
Oh.
next person to spin would be
The
Ellie.
drama.
Ellie, would you like to steal or would you like to spin the wheel of Pandamonium?
This is like actually a tough choice because I can't get coal. So actually, I have like 2 robots on the wheel, but also I really want basics.
Is that your final answer? Are you going to steal basics?
I think
Or
I am
are
gonna
you going
steal
to-
basics? I think I'm gonna steal basics.
Oh, everyone, she's
Wow.
stealing basics.
You're tearing this
team apart.
Oh,
I haven't even
I'm
been
excited for this.
Oh,
and I'm
boy.
already causing just complete chaos.
Oh my goodness. Now, basics has been stolen. Who does
Back
that
to
bring us back?
Lyndon.
Poor Lyndon, man.
It's back to Lyndon again.
This is
Poor
drama.
Lyndon.
All right.
Lyndon,
thinking
you
about
are
this-
getting really good at this
Yeah.
game. Are you going to spin this wheel again, or are you going to steal?
So I'm going to do some out loud thinking for a second here.
That's all right.
Did not expect this. So if I spin the wheel right now, it's Yippee, Beetlejuice, and Cole left on the wheel. Now I cannot get Yippee,
Correct.
so that leaves Beetlejuice and Cole. Honestly, I'd be okay with both of those. Let's spin the wheel.
All right, Lyndon, spin the wheel of Pandamonium. And who will you get?
Oh my gosh. Lyndon just really wants to drive his own
Respect.
bot. Oh, no, keep going.
It always does this.
I think you just yell yippee when you get yippee now.
Oh my god.
Third time's the charm.
No, it's
Oh,
I
We're
thought
just
it was
doing this till you
Beetlejuice.
get not yippy.
This is perfect.
Dude, what the? It's gone off the rails.
Okay, that's like statistically impossible. How does that?
Go buy a lottery ticket. And again.
Is this just like biased to one?
Yay!
You got Beetle.
Beetlejuice is available.
You currently have Beetlejuice. I hope you can hold on to it.
Ooh.
All right,
Oh,
so
yes.
Donald, you are the next one onto the wheel of Pandamonium. Now, are you going to steal or are you going to spin?
I have to steal.
Oh, boom, boom.
Didn't see this one coming.
Drama.
Is Lyndon gonna get it again?
I'm super tempted to steal from Lyndon. No, but
Lyndon.
It's that organized hardware bin, isn't it? Because I know
Yeah, I
how
know.
much really need that.
but I'm gonna steal Half-Life.
Whoa!
What?
I don't know if I'd
Wow!
ever design a control bot, but I always want to drive a control bot.
Okay.
Mm.
Damn.
So then that brings back to Imposter Tim.
Well, the good
Yeah,
news
what
is
now,
he only has one
imposter?
choice. He only has one choice.
Yeah, he has to
Yes,
spin.
'cause you
Oh,
have
yeah.
to spin the wheel. You have used your steal.
Okay, well, I have received instructions to spin, so
Yes. You don't
Cole it is.
And with that,
Oh,
Tim,
Cole.
you got Cole.
Ooh.
Cole for
Sorry.
you.
Wow. No
Cole will
comment.
be fine.
You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Wow, Ariel. I mean, you're faced with a complicated decision to make.
I actually really am because I can steal any robot right now.
Yes, you can.
Literally
all the
any
power.
robot.
Mhm.
I do have all the power, but
You got
what's
the pick
really
of the field.
complicated?
You know you want
Actually,
Ominius.
Ariel, there
And
is
the
one more
Memorial
Day.
steal after yours, at least.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, I can steal. There's 7 robots right now that I can just choose. I
can
did
choose
make a
any
list.
robot.
Yeah, I can. Well, not Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
I can't do Beetlejuice, but I made a list, and I really struggled with. I have like a three-way tie for first place. This is really hard, and I knew this was gonna happen, and I still don't know who's first. I'm gonna steal Chubby Unicorn.
Whoa!
You know what? We were talking about this,
Chubby.
and we thought this
That
was.
was
Yeah,
not
that was
expected.
my master plan had one flaw, and that was Ariel.
that,
All right,
No.
so Yippee.
Oh no!
this means that there's only one bot left, and Alex has he used his steal. He gets Yippee.
Oh.
Now,
Yippee!
Yippee!
Okay.
So everyone, thanks for playing the Wheel of Pandemonium, and remember to
Wait, no,
support
Kevin
your.
gets to steal.
Kevin gets
Oh,
a
wait a minute,
chance
Kevin,
to steal.
that's right.
Kevin does
I
have a
thought
steal.
Kevin was happy. I was not yet.
So, because
Kevin.
I didn't have an opportunity to steal before, I get to try now.
Yes, you do.
Will you?
Sorry, I forgot.
I could really make this fun.
Yeah, because there's 2 ways this can go for the audience. 3 ways, really. Kevin can choose not to steal. He can steal from someone who has already used their steal, which means it's just a swap. Or he can steal from someone who has not used their steal, and his only option is Beetlejuice. For that.
No,
Oh,
he
wow.
can't. He's not allowed to pick Beetlejuice, Ariel.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
So
a
he
third
has
option.
no.
What's the third option?
You could steal from somebody who can't take the bot you would give them.
Correct. So if I were to trade
Like-
for
Oh,
Ellie or
yeah.
Alex,
That's
Yeah.
the fourth option.
if I were to trade for Ellie or Alex, the world panic would ensue.
Yeah.
No, they just
There
have
would
to
be blood
then.
in the streets.
They just get
Yeah,
free
it would give
steal.
us an extra steal.
Yep.
Whoa, this is getting
How do I do
complicated.
this?
And I just want to throw out a wrinkle. Can you steal a bot back that's been stolen and then stolen from that person?
No, you can't steal a
No.
bot back.
If
Unless
it's
you
on
have
our
it.
list, we can't steal it
Yeah,
back.
if it's on the no takebacks, then I mean you could intentionally give them that bot, and then it forces them to look for another bot. I guess same situation.
See, I don't know
Dude, you
what
guys are already
Just go with
finding
the flow.
loopholes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
We spent-
I mean, we're all great at finding
Crazy.
loopholes in rules. That's
Rich NHRL builder
I
experience.
don't know what to do.
The pressure must be immense for Kevin right now.
It
Can
is
you talk
immense.
us through your mental process?
Sure. I have like 3 bots I want, right? I want
And none
basics.
of them are Zane.
Like everybody wants basics, so of course basics is on my list. Donald bots are really fun, and I get to drive them already, so why not drive another one? I want Chubby because I also built the Drisk, and I want to see how his is better because it is. And I want Yippee because just looks like so much fun. Who doesn't love yelling Yippee over and over? I think I'm gonna really screw things up here, and I'm gonna steal
Oh, boy.
basics.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
basics has
Oh.
been
Hold on, I have to
stolen.
figure out how this screws the sheet.
Yeah, because Ellie can't have Zane.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
So I
Ellie
know
now has
you
to
can't
steal
have
something.
Zane. So now
Does
Ellie
go
gets a
back on
steal.
the wheel
Ellie
now?
gets a steal and gives.
But she can't take
whoever-
basics.
Right,
Yeah.
she can't take basics.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
She
yeah.
right
can't take
now-
basics.
So she has.
Oh, yeah, I have to add that.
She has
Yeah.
Zane right.
Ellie can't have the takebacks.
Right.
but like
So
this
whoever
actually-
Ellie steals from
Gets Zane.
is getting Zane.
Unless she steals Yippee, which I don't think she wants Yippee.
At which point you have to steal.
Well,
Zane.
if she steals Ominius, she can actually give me the ability to steal. Just saying that exists.
Oh no, this is your curse.
There is another possibility, guys.
Ellie
Let's
doesn't
not
hate
talk
herself
down that
that
this isn't
much.
going to happen.
No.
Steel
she doesn't.
Half-Life.
Okay. This isn't that bad for me, actually, because I also had my little list. But it was much more like clearly defined. So now that my first choice is gone, I can simply move on to my second choice, which unfortunately involves bullying Lyndon. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Give me Beetlejuice.
Oh boy.
Poor Lyndon.
I'm sorry.
all right.
Hey, Zane, time for a torque reaction walker.
Yeah, but
Oh my god,
guys,
Lyndon can
Lyndon-
steal.
hasn't
Lyndon-
used his steal.
Lyndon
Yeah,
has a
yeah.
steal.
Oh yeah, Lyndon does have a skill.
He can either end the loop or end the chain.
You can break the cycle,
Or you could steal and keep it going.
or you can steal.
So
Yeah.
no. No matter what I do, it ends it because I can't give Zane to Alex or Ellie because Yippee is my bot, and I just had Beetlejuice.
There's more robots.
You can take Ominius, and the chain won't
But
end.
yeah, if you take
Just-
Ominius, then
Chubby unicorn. There's so many choices here.
Oh, I don't know.
You know you want to keep
really
the chain
aren't that
going,
many
Lyndon.
choices
You know
anymore.
you want the chain to keep going.
Matt is so happy to get rid of Aminius. Leave
Matt,
him with it.
I have my
Wait,
greatest fear
you
in
think it's
Ominius
bad that
in my
everybody's
team.
passed Zane around like a hot potato?
You don't want the shitty version of Droopy.
Okay, I think that little voice in my head is saying do the correct thing. And the correct thing at this point is to take the bot I think I'll have the most fun with, and that left is Chubby Unicorn.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh god, this just keeps going off the rails.
That
Well, now
actually
it's
ends
done.
the loop, right?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Ariel.
That's
That's
it.
my decision.
Yeah. So, oh, we've traded.
Oh my god.
We have switched, Ariel.
Because Ariel's used her steel.
Alright, so that ends it. So as you can see on the screen, this is our lineup for Boxlemania. Some of us had a choice and some of us didn't. This is fantastic.
No one else wanted Half-Life? Come on.
I am so excited to be piloting Ominius. Can you tell from the sound of my voice?
Alright, so
Half-Life was up there on my list.
is anybody
It was up
Just
actually
there
wasn't
on
as
my
high as
list, too.
Stubby.
who's happy
Yeah.
right now?
We know Matt loves verts that can gyro.
So
over-
I originally
will.
loved Droopy. It was one of my first favorite robots, so I'm kind of excited to have a Torque Walker. Or I'm sorry,
No, Torque Walker.
What's
Yeah, no, that was it.
You're correct.
Torque
I
Walker.
get
is
Torque
fine.
Walker. All right.
Or Torque
So I'm
Reaction Walker
actually-
if you want to say
I'm
more
okay
words.
with a Torque Reaction Walker, and now it's my responsibility to get Kevin to actually make the gears.
Yes.
Oh shit.
And I have the power.
Yeah.
I have the power. So
Yep.
Right.
I will
Let's
just
see.
bully him every day, all day, until he makes the gears.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll
to be
also
honest,
get to learn.
And for our lovely studio audience, I don't actually hate Ominius. I just know one of my core fears in robot combat will be realized at this event.
Direct soldering in between matches?
But you'll have to tune in to the next time to find out that.
Yeah.
Wow, you're a natural.
I mean,
man.
I'm excited to be forced to build a robot that has like a high degree of mechanical complexity, because like there is so much in my design that's like make it easy for myself in the pits, to the point that my robots die because of it. So it's gonna be interesting.
Anyone else have something?
I mean,
to say?
I'm just excited to have something that's good. I'm gonna be so for real.
Aw.
I hope I
is that
don't let
saying
you
something
down.
about Alex?
I hope I don't let you down.
No,
I believe
Ellie
you.
will kill somebody if my robots aren't better than they are the next time she drives them. And I'm that somebody.
The wedding will be off.
And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Wheel of Pandemonium. Remember to support your local STEM and trade schools or programs.
Hey. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Just real quick before we end the stream. Unfortunately, recently the community did lose a very crucial member. He was a friend of the team and a friend of Johnny's, and he will really be missed. And so we as a team wanted to dedicate this episode to Alex. And if anybody has anything they'd like to say, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, there's. I'll keep it short, but there's really no words. I feel like I haven't had words, and you know, to keep it positive, which is kind of difficult to do, obviously. It's our job now to kind of keep his memory forward and really make sure he's never forgotten, because I think the impact he left on the community from literally before even graduating high school is something to be said. So if we can immortalize him in some way or keep his memory, carrying forward on our shoulders, I feel like that's our prerogative now.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for joining us, and well said, Johnny.
Wish I could end on a happier note.
It's a good note.
Until
Goodbye,
next week.
Until next week, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Goodbye, everyone.
Yes, actually, the next episode.
The next episode.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right.
We probably should have done the Alex thing at the